A Day on the Focus. Hey everyone, and welcome back to A Day on the Focus. It's Anne here, your friendly neighborhood history buff, ready to dive into the fascinating events that happened on this very day, March 16th. Buckle up, because today's historical roller coaster is a wild ride. We're going from ancient China to World War II, with a healthy dose of space exploration and unfortunate massacres sprinkled in between. First up, let's journey back to 934 AD. Meng Xiaxiang, a guy who clearly believed in the power of self-promotion, declares himself emperor and establishes the Later Shu dynasty in China. Talk about a power move. No press conference needed, just a kingdom springing up out of thin air. Ambitious, right, friends? Fast forward a bit to 1190, and we find ourselves in York, England, witnessing the horrific massacre of Jews at Clifford's Tower. A truly dark stain on history, reminding us of the ongoing struggle against prejudice and intolerance. And if that wasn't enough tragedy for one day, in 1244, over 200 Cathars were burned at the stake after the fall of Montségur. Religious persecution at its most brutal. These events serve as stark reminders of the devastating consequences of religious conflict. Now let's jump ahead to 1621. Imagine being a pilgrim in Plymouth Colony, struggling to survive in a new world. And suddenly, an Abenaki man named Samoset walks up and greets you with a cheerful, "Welcome, Englishmen!" That's exactly what happened. A moment of unexpected connection in a time of intense cultural clash. Samoset's greeting is one of the most famous first contacts in early American history. Then, it's on to 1926. Robert Goddard successfully launches the first liquid-fueled rocket. A major leap forward in rocketry. It might not have looked like much at the time, but it marked a pivotal moment in human history, paving the way for future space exploration. Talk about a pivotal moment. And we can't ignore the darker side of history. March 16, 1968, saw the My Lai massacre. American troops tragically killed hundreds of unarmed Vietnamese civilians. It's a shameful chapter in U.S. military history that demands constant remembrance and reflection to prevent similar atrocities in the future. Then, we have some major aviation events. 1962. The mysterious disappearance of Flying Tiger Line, Flight 739, with 107 souls aboard, lost in the vast Pacific. A reminder that even with technological advancement, certain dangers remain. And in 1969, a Viasa flight crashes in Venezuela. 1978 is another year marked by tragedy. The assassination of Kamal Jumblat, and the kidnapping and subsequent murder of Aldo Moro, both highlighting the dark side of political turmoil. Plus, the Amalco Cadiz oil spill, a catastrophic environmental disaster. And finally, to bring us up to more recent times, in 2020, the Dow Jones Industrial Average experienced its single largest point drop in history. A day that many investors still remember with a shudder. Whew, that was a whirlwind tour through history, wasn't it? Now for a little creative twist. Imagine Samoset arriving in Plymouth, but instead of, "Welcome, Englishmen," he bursts into a wildly inaccurate prediction of the future. He foretells liquid-fueled rockets soaring to the stars, massive oil spills, and even mentions a stock market crash that would make the pilgrims' struggles seem trivial. The settlers, naturally, would have thought him mad. But wouldn't it be interesting if, somehow, he knew? His seemingly random greeting, in light of later events, takes on a whole new, almost prophetic feel. And that's all the time we have for today, folks. Join me tomorrow for another exciting journey through the annals of history. Until then, keep your eyes on the past. You never know what you might discover.